Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Sally Pinto and I'm from the Yonkers Newark neighborhood naturally occurring retirement community. We launched back in January of 2020 and we're here to serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We have lots of fun programs and activities, and we also have a lot of resources for you as well. Our programs include meditation chair yoga, body mind fitness, bingo, and any other programs that you might be interested, like arts and gardening. We have our resource specialist, Alexa Smith, who can help you with finding services and activities out there for you, as well as our nurse, Barbara Simone, who can help answer your health-related questions. We're here for you, we're here for our community, and we look forward to seeing you in our programs. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alexa Smith, the resource specialist with the Yonkers Newark. I'm here to help with application assistance, referrals for home delivered meals, and transportation services will be coming soon. We also offer Zoom activities and Zoom programs. And if you have any other questions or concerns, I'm here to help. Thank you so much and enjoy the program.
Welcome. I'm Barbara Simone, registered nurse. I recently retired from Westchester County's Health Department as a public health nurse. I am now here to try to assist you with any medical or preventive care issues. Enjoy this program, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Is the idea of reduce, reuse, and recycle. And if you notice on this slide, if you're looking at it, I have recycle last, because the thing you want to do is first think about not making a purchase, not driving an extra place to go. What hacks can you come up with that will reduce your carbon footprints, that will reduce waste? Reuse is the next big thing, like taking old containers and reusing them, reusing clothes, going through your clothes, keeping what you have, and just basically taking care of your stuff so they last longer. So today we're going to talk about rethinking your choices for sustainability. And on the bottom of the screen, we have a picture of the Yonkers Recycling Center, which is on Sawmill River Road. And that's where you can bring a lot of your waste. Long Island, and waste that you can't put in the trash or the recycling bins.
Jackie, we're not seeing your slides yet. Do you have to share your screen?
That's what I did. Okay.
Is anybody else seeing Jackie's slides?
No, I didn't get them either.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So, Bill, you want to put that up there? Don't know what I did. Because I put up present.
So is it open?
Yeah, I have it on my screen.
Okay, so all you gotta do is to hit share screen and then choose it from the choices.
Green button.
Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Yay!
Yes,
I love it. So
thank you, Jackie. Oh, that top one's really pretty.
Yeah. So the top one is
that Untermeyer Park?
What?
Is that Untermeyer Park?
It's Untermeyer Park, and the bottom picture is Yonkers Recycling Center. Every county has their own version of the recycling center. Okay, let me go to the next screen. Wish cycling. Let's talk about wish cycling. Wish we didn't have to use plastic. I love the little fairy themes. So yeah, I wish we didn't have to use plastic. But wish cycling is what we do when we, when we take a thing and we say, well, this has to be recycled, right? Can everybody see me still?
Yes, I can.
Like this. That's not recyclable. Neither is this. For the top of a bag, right? I cut off the top of the bag, but this is, right? This is a ball of aluminum. Now, why did I put it in a ball, right? I was thinking about this idea that it's a hack that I learned. Rather than don't throw your recycling, don't throw your aluminum foil in the garbage can. Recycle it. And instead of like little flat sheets, ball it up, because recyclers, and I heard this from a recycler, unfortunately I couldn't get them on today. It's easy for them to pick up out of when they're sifting through the stuff, and it's easy to recycle aluminum foil. So is glass, very easy to recycle. I don't know if I asked you to do this last week, but when you have any kind of circular rings, including the small ones, cut them. When you have one of these horrible things, you pull it off, right? And you take your scissors and you cut it, because you don't want it getting wrapped around an animal's neck.
Thank you, Nurse. Do you have any ketchup? Like 3? Thank you.
So,
Jackie,
yeah,
that little pull ring that you said you cut, right? Do you recycle that as well? The little plastic, like this from like milk containers?
Yes, as it turns out, you can stuff this, but see, here's the other wish cycling thing. I hate to tell you this, but we only recycle a quarter of what we throw in the recycling bin. That's not to say you shouldn't recycle it. It's got to be collected and pulled all together anyway. It should be out of what is dumped in the trash. And so should food. Don't throw food in the garbage can. If you can compost it, do it. Compost it. Throw it in the dirt. If you have a backyard, throw it over the side. It gets easily eaten up. And no matter what, you're going to have little critters outside, no matter what. There's nothing you can do about it. Their world too. But yes, take the tabs and put them inside the plastic. I think one of the other things they said is to put the screw tops, squeeze the air out of a thing and leave the screw top on the bottle. But most importantly, you can put it inside. So let me move on. So we're going to talk about substitutions today, like what we can substitute.
Could I have a bag to go?
Okay, we need to mute somebody.
A medium bag.
Okay. Okay, so what we have here, I have this box here. I was going to talk about
Thank you.
at the end. So this oral care waste box is for a recycling company called TerraCycle. And I purchased the box so that I could put in my toothbrushes, toothpaste tubes, anything to do with oral care. This company is really incredible in terms of what else they can recycle. And the recycling the recycling involved, they are able to recycle everything. And they've gotten to a point where they ask companies to be part of their recycling. Okay, so let me move on. I think we've killed that. So let me go on to the next slide. So here is the Yonkers website for getting the app. There is an app involved. It's called Recycle Coach. And I would suggest that you all go to the Yonkers website. You don't have to go to this, but just Google Yonkers or yonkers.gov and follow to the Recycle Coach. It's a really great resource and it answers a lot of questions. Okay, next. Let's talk about this because I spoke about this last week. Methyl Isothiazolenol. I got it right this week. Okay, so let's talk about where we find that. I'm not done yet. Okay. So let me, for some reason I can't escape. Okay, so let me go back to this. All right, so what we have here, does everybody see? Can everybody see me? That is just,
I can see you in the sidebar, and then I'm seeing your event listing in
okay.
the deep screen.
All right, can you get me on big screen? Highlight me. So what I have here is a collection of things, because I want to talk about that word that we spoke about last week, greenwashing. So this came out, right? This cool thing, compostable. And I went to their website, and also I watched some commercials by them, and they say that these sheets are compostable. They break down. But guess what one of the ingredients is? Methyl Isothiazolenol, which is a known allergen. It's an allergen and it's a cytotoxin. And I'm not just getting that from some crunchy granola website. I'm getting that from MIT. There are several doctors, dermatologists, hospitals, and universities who have said that compound, which is not naturally derived, can cause dermatitis, really bad dermatitis, but it's also damaging to your lung tissue, and it has neurological effects. And if you have a bunch of these things, unfortunately, in this Myers, but most, actually, it's not in this one, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm just giving you, companies. I bought this through the Grove Collaborative website, and it's got methyl isothiazolenol. Wow, I said that again. In that case, it's used as a preservative. And when I did more digging, it turns out that it's used as a preservative in makeup, food, all kinds of cleaners, soaps, hair conditioner. I could go on. So no, it's not really good for you. And this is why I'm advocating for everyone to try to make as many changes as you can, and be aware that these companies are trying to jump on the greenback bandwagon. Is it good that they're doing that? Yes. Okay. Does methyl isothiazolenol break down in the soil? Yeah. Okay. But you don't want to put your hands on it. So the best thing that I would recommend is you buy a bunch of cotton rags and you clean the old-fashioned way. Okay. So what's next on the list? Let's take a little break with coffee. Okay. So this. So to reduce your coffee bills, which I've been doing, and to reduce further waste, I purchased, and I don't have it here, it's inside, zero footprint iced coffee, cold brew. I get one of these bags. Ooh, it's not used. I could give it to somebody. So you fill it, the recipe is, you want to make cold brew, and it's not the kind of cold brew that will burn a hole through your stomach like Starbucks. You didn't hear me say that. You put in either, it's 1 cup of coffee to 2 quarts of water, or ½ a cup of grinds to 1 quart of water. And you just soak it for 12 hours. You just dunk it in, squeeze it, get it wet. And I could tell you, Phil C. and 70 both liked it. And I have some here. It goes very nicely with almond milk, if you want almond milk, or oat milk, or soy, or milk. So, okay, so we got that. So we spoke about this. And last week, last week I brought up, I spoke about that cleaner that we made, and Phil Pajali put it on the blog, and kind of as a little joke, see, today I said reduce, reuse. I'm reusing a Dawn dishwashing liquid because it's got a nice little squeezy top. And inside of this, ironically, is the cleaner, the citrus cleaner, the one that's made of vinegar, 3 cups of vinegar to 2 cups of orange or all kinds of citrus peels, put it in a container. A glass container is better than the plastic, and leave it for 2 weeks. So, and it works. I can, if anybody would like that, I have some bottles ready to go and I can give it to you. Oh, and after the 2 weeks is up, you compost the peels, and it's a 1-to-1 dilution, 1 part water, 1 part of the solution. Okay, so I made something else. Last week I didn't get to do the glass cleaner. So here's a really dirty glass, right? And I didn't think this was gonna work, but I have newspaper, okay? In this cleaner, I have alcohol and something. It's not, no, I just lost it. Okay, I'll put it up on the blog, but it's alcohol, not peroxide. Okay, I forgot. But the streak-free, the way to get it streak-free is cornstarch. That's the secret ingredient. So let's take a look. Ooh, so dirty. Ew. Okay. Newspaper. I didn't think this was gonna work, but I did it on my front door and it worked, and it was streak-free. Okay, this thing is really dirty. But when I did it on my front door, it came out and there were no streaks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this again, but it does, see, the dust is coming off. But the secret behind it is the cornstarch. The cornstarch leaves a streak-free shine. I didn't believe that until I tried it on my front door. And actually, oh wow, that is working. Ooh, very nice. And newspaper works. I thought the newspaper was going to streak all kinds of ink. It didn't, not even on my hands. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so let's go to the Tide Pods, the dreaded Tide Pod, not Tide Pods, toilet pods. So these are the toilet pods, and they didn't really work for me, and I'll tell you why. Because in the recipe, but they do, there is a silver lining, right? It's failure or was it success? It was a success, and I'll tell you why. So in this is the baking soda and the citric acid. In the directions, it says add the Sal suds, 1 tablespoon of Sal suds, get yourself this, it's the greatest thing. So 1 tablespoon, and I'm going to show, it says, don't stir it because it'll get activated. Now, what does activated mean? Oh, and a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide, right? Oh, look at that. It's already activated, right? So the idea was to stir it to make it like a sandy paste, okay? And then put it into ice cube trays and get it so that, let it dry. And then when you want to clean your toilet, but you don't have time, you drop the pot in and it gets all bubbly, right? Well, I dropped these in, right? I dropped this in and it kept rising like bread dough. And I thought, oh my God, this is an utter failure. And I threw it into the sink. And then I thought, So I scrubbed the sink down, and it made, my sink is like white enamel, but you could use it in the toilet as well, right? So I scrubbed it down, and it absolutely took out every stain. And it's a perfect substitute, even though it's rising like bread dough, for this, because there's so many toxic ingredients in this, I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, so that's there. Any questions? Oh, look at this. I just happened to see this. This is last night's bag of coffee grinds, right? So what I did is, what you can do is take it out of the bag. It's, you know, you just sort of dump it out, rinse it out. and throw it in the dirt. It's great for, it's actually the perfect thing for composting. So there's no waste. There's no filters to go out. Something else. Oh my God, look at this. This is a coffee press. This does not require any kind of filtration. If I could get people to even consider getting rid of their K-cups, that would be awesome. But I know, I love the Keurig. It's fun. Little buttons, woo, beep, 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 beep. Oh, I love that thing. Instant coffee. This, you have to boil water, but that's all you're doing, okay? And it's the same idea that whatever's left, you throw it out in the garden, there's nothing else, okay? You basically fill it up with boiling water and 3 tablespoons or more of your favorite coffee grinds. And then after 3 minutes, you plunge. So much fun. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions? Let's see, what else do I have?
Percolators are still a thing too, Jackie. I use a percolator every day, and that has a metal basket.
I was gonna say,
I don't have any extra,
you
filters
can,
to throw away.
put filters out. I use the disc filters, but they have biodegradable disc filters.
I don't even use one in my metal basket.
You don't have to.
No, you don't. The coffee comes out clean and not gritty. And then, yeah, I throw it all in my garden near my hydrangeas. They like their morning coffee.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, so I've been using the dishwashing liquid that I talked about last week, right? And my hands, oh, wow. Wait, hold on. Ooh, the dirty thing. I'd have to go over it again. It's nice and clean. Okay, so what was I just saying? Okay, so my hands, last summer, I was doing a lot of hand dishwashing, and my hands looked as bad as they did in the winter. And I was saying, oh, it must be the vinegar, this is great. It's not. It's, well, it partly is, but also jojoba oil. I will put that recipe on that set of instructions for dishwashing liquid, which involves a little bit of this and vinegar and water and jojoba oil and some essential oil, okay? I would suggest that whenever you get anything like these items, get them fairly organically sourced or indigenously sourced. Those are good. Local sourcing too. Okay. What else do we have? Let me look at, okay. Oh, I mentioned, did I put up the book, How to Give Up Plastic? So How to Give Up Plastic is a really great book that I can't find right now. Okay, let me move on to the next thing. Let's talk about substitutions. So this is a mini kitchen waste bag, okay? And it is fully compostable. It can be put in your garden. I know, because I did it, and I put food in it as well, food scraps. I can't find it. I've tried to dig it up. I don't even see it anymore. All right, what other substitutions? Bags for your groceries. In terms of garlic, can go in a small bag. I reused my beeswax candles. They came in this bag. And so I use this for small items like small onions and garlic. And you can use it as a puppet. Yes, try to reuse any bags you have. Okay, and this apples, oranges, potatoes, they make all kinds of bags for that. Chip clips, so you're not using tape. Okay. So before I move on to the next thing, does anyone have any questions so far? Yes, Ed. You need to unmute.
There we go. Sorry. It's not really a question, but when you were talking about the 3 Rs, the reduce, reuse, recycle, I've sometimes seen that as 4, where the 4th one is refuse. It's kind of I thought that was cute. So that's why I'm mentioning it, just because, instead of just using half of something, if you can do without it altogether, that's great. So
It's great. That is really great. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tackle this conversation, and for anybody who's uncomfortable, I'm sorry about that. But for people who are still menstruating, and I say this to everybody because you can pass this on to your family, your daughters, whatever, there is a thing called period underwear. Okay. And those products are really polluting. It's like diapers, and they do have biodegradable diapers as well. And they do have the other cotton paraphernalia for that. But I would check out Thinx, THINX. They're expensive initially, but follow the directions and it ends up, you save a lot of money, and they're easy to manage, believe it or not. Okay, let me get past that now. All right, let me go back to the slides because I have some cool pictures. Let's see. Share screen and my desktop. Does everybody see this? Yes?
Yes.
Great. Okay. So this is a beach
That's a heck of a before and after.
in India. I was looking this up last night. I've seen it before. It took one man who got 2 friends involved after a month or 2, and to 20 people picking up each day. It took them 3 years to get the beach looking like the after. 3 years, but they did it. And for the first time in 3 years, turtles came back to the beach. So it's something to think about when you're going to the beach. I know this sounds a bit much, but you might want to think about bringing some gloves and bringing a bag, and make sure you clean up your area, but also you see anything along the way, not a hypodermic needle, but if you see any cans or whatever, pick up 3 pieces of garbage. I know that sounds totally gross, but that I'm recommending you wear gloves. There is a group called 4 Ocean, the number 4 and Ocean, and they also do cleanups around the world. Now I'm showing India, but we've had Jones Beach cleanups. Ocean Beach, is it Ocean Beach? Ocean, no, where City Island is. We've had cleanups there as well, and they've been very successful. So it's something to think about. So I love this quote, right? So the first day or so, we all pointed to our countries. The 3rd or 4th day, we were pointing to our continents. By the 5th day, we were only aware of the earth. So that's one of the astronauts. I can't read who it is, but anyway, I like that last slide.
There you go.
Okay, now I'm back. So Mary put up the blog that Phil Pajali put up for me, and Green Tips. So let me get to what's the whole point of this? Like, why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? I was going to put up a YouTube, but we don't need to see that. You can look up this YouTube video. So what's the point of this?
I thought you were doing it to make sure your mother recycles.
Yes. Trying to get my mother. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Jack.
So the whole point is activism. Like, let's get something done. Let's do something, even in the most basic arena. Now, the TerraCycle, that's pretty fancy, and I'm hoping that we can get Yonkers involved, they're doing free recycling. Now, what kind of recycling? Things that you know you can't recycle, okay? I made a collection of party stuff that I bought. I bought a small amount of it for Maria's graduation, my daughter's graduation party. And so I collected it and I bunched it up, and I will qualify for free recycling from the company, and they're going to take all the party goods. They also take toys. They also take snack pouches. That's another thing. Try to avoid getting a quick snack. A lot of the green stuff that we do is that idea of planning. Like if you know you're going to go out, or you know you're not going to be able to get a quick meal, take something from home. One of the things I recommended the last time was to make your own, if you like granola bars. I have a great recipe. I will put it up on the blog. If you like peanut butter and oats and chocolate chips and honey, you make that and you wrap it in beeswax wraps. What do I have in a beeswax wrap? I don't have the granola bars. But the other day I cut into my avocados too early, and I tried another one. And so to save them, I wrap them in the beeswax wraps. Do they smell like beeswax? No, they just smell like themselves. They just smell like avocados.
And they're not brown.
And they're not, well, you know what the trick to that is?
Well, I always try lemon or lime juice, but, and
No.
keeping the pit in too, but mine always turn brown.
You leave the pit in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you leave the pit in. You could do the same when you make dip. You put the pit in the guacamole.
I put the pit in and they turn brown anyway. There must be something to that beeswax wrap.
There is. I don't know. I'm just gonna move on. Okay. Yes. If you don't want to use, this is a big block of soap, but it's like good soap. It's the kind of soap that doesn't, it's like French soap, you know, the Marseille olive oil soap, or the, I can't think of the name of it, Castile soap. It's solid Castile soap. My daughter uses this, swipes the sponge on it, and then washes the dishes. If we run out of dishwashing liquid, which we don't, as long as I have vinegar and salt suds and water, I never run out now. Okay, something to try out. I know this might look like it's annoying, but instead of carrying tissues in one of those plastic pouches, ding, 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 they now make tissues in a box, and this paper can be recycled, okay? It is by Grove Collaborative. I was gonna put up a list of websites, but I'm gonna throw that on the blog because you're not gonna sit there writing it all out. Now you say, I remember when I bought these and I said to myself, oh my gosh, it's gonna take up so much room in my bag. It doesn't, it fits in. It's not all that annoying. And sometimes you just have to make the commitment. And you just say, all right, look, there's a little inconvenient, but I can cope. Also, the brand is called Seedling. They also have tissues in one of those boxes, because are the tissue boxes recyclable? Not exactly, because they have a waxy front. Okay, so there's that. I just feel like going like that, but I won't. There was something else. I've lost it. Okay, so I've lost this little object that I wanted to show. Oh, there it is. Does anybody know what this is?
That's from a wine bottle.
It is from a wine bottle. And the last time I bought wine was for my mother. It was a very good vintage. And it came in this. And I was like, I don't know if I want that. And they go, oh, don't worry about that. Just send it back to us. How awesome is that? And that's at Zacky's. So keep that in mind, because we're working towards a goal. All right. So my final thing, the whole point of this is for activism, right? Let's do something. I call this, because last night I cleaned out the closet underneath my sink. How many of you have a closet under your sink that's absolutely jammed in with all sorts of stuff? Or am I the only one?
You're not the only one.
Okay. Well, I cleaned it out last night, finally. And I used a little tub to store the too many things that I bought in terms of the sponges and the wipes and whatever. And my daughter said, well, finally, we have so many sponges. Let's change them all out. They're all gross. So I did. This is what I call box of nasty. And in it, I have things that are toxic, like moth spray and Raid. I have yet to use that. And Pledge. It's next time. If there is a next time, if you want, I'm going to show you how to make wood butter. These. This, I don't even want to know what that is. I have all these horrible things, and they have to get thrown out. But you know what? You don't have to throw them out. All we have to do, and I can do, is take them to, there's a collection place in Westchester. Yonkers won't take these. But Westchester has a place that will collect cans of chemicals that you can't throw out in the garbage. You're not allowed to throw out. They also take batteries. And so do these guys, will take batteries. So here's what I'm proposing. I will pick a day and I will collect anybody's box of nasties, and you can put a sign on it, box of nasty, and I'll make an appointment. I will call them up and I will take your box of nasty and other people's box of nasty. Just make sure you wrap it up for me. And I will make a trip and we will get that done all in one swoop. The other thing is, and I know with COVID, maybe it's an issue, but it's not for me because I am vaccinated and I know we can wipe things down, but this is going to take me a while to fill up. So I put the offer out there. If you clean up your tubes of toothpaste and put them in a paper bag, I can just dump them in and mix them with my box. And there's something else. Oh, recycling the correct way. That's also a form of activism, not wish cycling and cutting bags. Cut the handles off of bags so they don't get trapped around an animal's neck. Like my cat who found a bag and he was running and he had the thing around his neck, and I thought, perfect example. And then one last thing. There is a group called Got Sneakers with a question mark. And I was considering that we should get together and make a collection, and it could benefit anybody or any group, Friends of Crestwood Library. You open up an account and they give you money back in order to recycle your sneakers. But so does TerraCycle. TerraCycle also has the same kind of program. And that's it. I mean, I think I'm done. Let me see. Hydrogen peroxide. Oh, yes. So if anybody wants to give this a try, I had my toothbrush, cup, and this is a tab of toothpaste. Okay, and you put it in your mouth and you bite down on it and you wet your toothbrush and you brush around. It's a little, you get like little pieces, but you crunch down on it as much as you can. No, there's no fluoride in it. However, we get a lot of fluoride in our water. Our water is fluoridated. And you can always use you should be brushing your teeth 3 times a day. And you can use one of those brushings for fluoridated, fluoride toothpaste if you have to. But I would recommend, I use these. They're also easier to travel with. Yeah. So yeah, And so I have some articles. Yeah.
And
So,
you wanted to mention the beeswax and the resin again.
right, the beeswax and the resin. So if anyone wants to make a beeswax wrap, and because Mary wanted to put together some of those kits, you notice I just like, oh yeah, Mary wants to do it. I'll do it. But Mary really wants to do it. No.
Yes, I'll help you.
So they're easy, but you have to have certain things on you, okay? And what I was gonna do, if you want to try it out for yourself, because I made this one myself. I finally bought powdered pine resin. One day I bought, the first time I bought the pine resin and it was in blocks and I had to hit it with a hammer. It was a nightmare. But I can make the mixture for you, the beeswax, pine resin, jojoba oil, and something else. Hang on. Wait a sec. So what I suggest is you have a dedicated brush and a bowl you don't mind, that has the beeswax left over with the rosin. The pine rosin is just sticky. It's just sticky. But it's worth it. For me, it was worth it. I mean, you pick a day to do it. And I have instructions. You sprinkle on the beeswax, the mixture, and you spread it out. And then you put it in the oven for a few minutes. I have directions for it. And then I put it over a drying rack with newspaper underneath and newspaper on it. But by the time I got it out of the oven, you have to spread it, put it back in the oven, take it out. But it's only a few minutes. And if you only make 2 or 3, it's done. And now you have beeswax wrap. If you don't want to purchase them, you don't have to make them if you don't want to. All of these things that I'm suggesting have something that's out there in the world or online on Etsy. You don't have to use Amazon if you don't want to. That you can go find it online and purchase it. You can go to Bees Wraps. Mary, can you put that in the chat? Bees '(S) Wraps. And they sell them commercially, but they also sell them on Etsy because people are making them. COVID really brought out the crafty in everybody. Okay, so yeah, thank you, Mary.
Welcome. Actually, just a point of information about the homemade one that you did have. It sounded like it was crinkling a little bit when you were wrapping it around that avocado.
Yeah, because it's sticky.
It's the stickiness.
So sticky,
it's not cracking.
Which is what you want.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Because it was in the fridge.
Oh, okay.
It's still cold, and so this particular one I made, I put a little too much on, but it doesn't matter. It's going to last forever.
Okay. No, I was wondering, do they crack after a while? Like, do you have to put them back in the oven and smooth them all out after you've used them, or?
What they do is depending on how often you use it, and I don't recommend you using really warm water to clean them. They don't take a lot to clean. One of the soaps that I suggested, but something without vinegar, and you clean it with warm water and soap.
Oh, okay.
Not too warm, like more like.
Right, you don't want to melt it off.
Yeah, room temperature. And then you just hang it up somewhere and let it dry. I have used them over and over again. There is an antiseptic quality to pine resin and beeswax. Cool. So it doesn't. I wouldn't wrap raw meat in it. In that case, use paper, if you have to. Yeah, I didn't get to that. That was the other thing I wanted to get to. Was the other part of activism is writing or speaking to your local stores, because the biggest waste we have is like, and I still do this. I order sushi out every once in a while, and there's 9 million packages and little tiny ones. But the place I go to, she tries, if I'm getting for the kids and I, it's actually me and the kids. 4, me and the kids. she will wrap it up in a larger container so there's not too many containers, and you can ask for that. But we have to get to a point where we, you know, because it will save money for the stores to say to the stores, well, use my container. I have a long container that I know I could put, you know, sliced, you know, deli meats and stuff. Also, I go to a butcher that uses paper. So now I know some of the hardcore conservationists will be like, well, wax paper, it never breaks down. Well, it's a heck of a lot better than paper. So yeah, that's it. And I'd like to be able to do this again, but that's all on how other people feel, you know?
Jackie,
Yeah.
one other thing I want to pitch, and I have no skin in the game in that sense. But with like companies like Con Ed, one of the things you can do, I mean, I think it's great. A lot of people are putting up the solar panels up on people's houses, and that's wonderful. But if you don't want to go through all that, you know, what you can do is they have ESCOs is what it's called, your energy supply company. You have the option to pick the ESCO that is your account. So like using myself as an example, we signed up, I don't remember the name of it offhand. It might be Energy Choice or some name like that.
Yeah,
But
Yonkers signed up with one. Yonkers
yeah,
has
and they were just pushing that. And in fact, now that I think about it, you showed Mike Spano's thing last week or last month. But just to push that one more time, because it's like it's such an easy thing to do. And like, for example, my electricity is now coming from wind power as opposed to, you know, oil and nuclear and everything else. So just to push that, it's called ESCO, ESCO for
every county.
Supply company.
Yeah, just about every county has that. And the other thing is, I'm going to be on a phone call with a solar power company tomorrow because I'll get some tax credits off. I'm checking it out just because I've been doing this. I'm going to see what they're going to do and, you know, what they say. But yes, in the past, ESCOs used to cost more money. Now there's no reflection on your bill. There's no change.
But even if it is a bit more, it's kind of like giving a contribution to Sierra Club or something, whatever. You can look at it that way.
Yes, you can. But that's another point. You know, I was looking at the states, what's the most polluting, you know, what contributes the most to greenhouse gas and what states are dedicated. Now, I figured New York was the dirtiest state, but they're not. We power ourselves with hydroelectric, a very little solar, and natural gas. And we have programs of doing where we've put turbine energy in the rivers as well. There's a turbine in the East River and one under the, what's the last one out there? Whatever. It's like the
they are trying different things.
Yeah,
you know,
they are.
some probably
New
more
York does
successfully
not
than
use
others.
coal, but you would be shocked how they use coal to power electricity. I can't think of anything. It's like redundant. And I realize we're like a water state, but there are other means. When I went to Arizona, Nevada in 2018, you would be shocked at how many people have solar panels up on their roofs. But they get sun all the time. Plus, the technology has gotten very good where you don't need your whole roof to be covered in solar panels. And, you know, they've learned how to make the batteries that last even in the winter. And they're able to capture as much light as possible, even on a cloudy day or a hazy day like today. So, wow. Okay. So, anybody want to say anything? Because I think we gotta wind it down. Would anybody like to meet again and do this again in a month? Yay, nay?
I would love to.
I'm all in favor also. If you can come up with enough material like that, you might.
How much I'm missing? How much I'm missing? I have
She's a
more.
wealth of
Oh, all right, go
information.
for it then. Go for it.
Great meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, okay, Z and I will come up with a date and reach out to everybody.
Are
Thank
you roping me into something new? Yes. No, I think we need part 3. This is a good thing. Yes. Part 3 in August. Yes. Coming to a
Yay.
computer near you.
Absolutely. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to mention something about Marianne had this great program, Arcadia Earth. It was this museum where it teaches you about what's being put into the waters. So next time, if Marianne,
Exhibit. Yeah, we should get Marianne to share that. We can share it on the sustainability. We always do a blog every month, so we should put that up.
yep, I'll be putting up some of the instructions for things, and next time, wood butter, because you can use it on your spoons, your wooden spoons. Mine break down like crazy. But you can use it on your wooden tables, and it doesn't have anything toxic, or it's beeswax and oh, I forgot. Anyway, so, but we will get together. Oh, and this. How to give up plastic. It's fantastic. It has really good substitution.
Wednesday.
Sorry, the author McCallum. Okay.
Okay.
All right, wonderful. Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.